My parents refused to attend my college graduation, claiming, "We have better things to do." But when my $500 million hotel empire made international news, my mother called crying, "We always believed in you." So I replied, "New phone, who's this?" Welcome, family. Please subscribe if you enjoy stories like this. Say hello in the comments and tell us your city or country. With that, let's continue our story. I stood backstage in my cap and gown, clutching my phone with trembling hands. The message glowed on the screen. "Sorry baby, your brother's basketball tournament is today. We have better things to do. Congrats though." My mother's words. My graduation day. 4 years of sleepless nights, 3 jobs, countless ramen dinners, all leading to this moment. And they chose Ronald's game over me. "Families of our graduates, please take your seats," the announcer's voice echoed through the auditorium. I peeked through the curtain, scanning the crowd. 2 empty seats in section C, row 5. I'd sent them the tickets 3 months ago. Confirmed twice. My roommate Karen squeezed my shoulder. "Girl, I'm here. My mom is here. We're your family today." But it wasn't the same. I was the first in my family to graduate college. First to even finish high school without getting pregnant or dropping out. I'd defied every statistic, every lowered expectation. And they couldn't spare 4 hours. The ceremony blurred past. When they called my name, graduating summa cum laude with a degree in hospitality management, I walked across that stage alone. The applause felt hollow. That night, while my classmates celebrated with their families, I sat in my dorm room staring at my diploma. My phone buzzed. Ronald had won his game. My mother's Facebook was flooded with photos, her beaming face next to my brother. "So proud of my baby," the caption read. I screenshot everything. I didn't know why then. Maybe I needed proof that this pain was real. That I wasn't being dramatic, wasn't overreacting like they always said I was. Growing up, I learned early that love in our house was conditional and scarce. Ronald, 18 months younger than me, could do no wrong. He was charming, athletic, light-skinned like our mother. I was darker, quieter, bookish. "Why can't you be more like your brother?" became my mother's favorite question. My father, when he bothered to look up from his phone, would just grunt in agreement. I remember being 12, winning the citywide spelling bee. I rushed home, trophy in hand, bursting with pride. My mother was on the couch, painting her nails. "That's nice, baby. Ronald made varsity basketball tryouts as a freshman. Can you believe it? A freshman." She never asked to see my trophy. It sat in my closet for years until I threw it away. My sister, Lucille, 5 years older, was the family princess. Beautiful, married to a doctor, 2 perfect kids. She'd call my mother every day, talking for hours about nothing. When I'd call, I'd get, "I'm busy, what do you want?" Lucille and Ronald had a group chat I wasn't included in. Family dinners happened without invitations sent my way. "You're so independent," my mother would say, making my isolation sound like a compliment. "You don't need us like they do." But independence wasn't a choice. It was survival. I learned to cook at 8 because no one made me dinner. I learned to forge permission slips because no one attended parent-teacher conferences. I learned to be invisible because visibility brought criticism, never praise. By 15, I was working at a local diner, saving every penny. College became my escape plan, my only way out of being the family ghost. College was brutal. While other students worried about midterms and social life, I juggled 3 jobs. Overnight security guard, weekend hotel front desk, and cafeteria worker. I slept 4 hours a night, studied between shifts, lived on coffee and determination. My roommate Karen became my sister by choice, teaching me that family didn't have to be blood. "Girl, when's the last time you slept?" she'd ask, finding me passed out over textbooks at 3 in the morning. She'd cover me with blankets, leave snacks by my bed, quiz me for exams. Her mother, Miss Patricia, sent care packages addressed to both of us. The first time she wrote "Love you, baby girl" on a card meant for me, I cried for an hour. I never asked my parents for money. Not once. When my laptop died sophomore year, I worked double shifts for 2 months to replace it. When I couldn't afford the graduation fee, I sold plasma. I refused to give them another opportunity to say no, another chance to choose Ronald over me. My hospitality management professor, Dr. Richardson, saw something in me. You have a gift for understanding what people need before they ask, she said after I aced her toughest course. She connected me with internships at luxury hotels, wrote glowing recommendations, mentored me through applications. Your background isn't a weakness, she told me once. You understand both struggle and aspiration. That's rare. That's valuable. Spring of senior year, I landed an interview with the prestigious Continental Hotel Group. The position was competitive, assistant manager at their flagship property. 300 applicants. I got it. The day I received the offer letter, I called home, breathless with excitement. That's great, honey, my mother said, distracted. Listen, can I call you back? I'm helping Ronald pick out college dorms. He'd gotten into state school on a basketball scholarship. The Continental was everything. Grand marble lobbies, crystal chandeliers, guests who spent more on a weekend than I'd earned in a year. I absorbed everything. How luxury service worked, what made guests return where operations failed. I worked 16-hour days volunteering for every shift, every project. Within 6 months I was promoted to manager. Within a year, department head. I met James Aguirre during a hotel industry conference. He was 55, a self-made hotel magnate, and his keynote speech changed my life. The hospitality industry doesn't need more cookie-cutter luxury, he said. It needs authentic experiences, spaces where people feel truly seen. After his talk, I approached him, hands shaking but voice steady. I have ideas, I told him. Ideas about luxury hospitality for people who've never felt luxurious. We talked for 3 hours. I pitched him a concept. Boutique hotels that combined 5-star service with cultural authenticity. Spaces that celebrated heritage rather than erasing it. Hotels where a black woman like me could walk in and feel like she belonged, not like an imposter. James listened, really listened. Come work for me, he said. Let's build this together. I called home that night. I got an incredible opportunity, I told my father, who'd actually answered for once. I'm moving to work with James Aguirre. He's worth millions and he wants to mentor me. Silence. Then, who? More silence. That's nice. Your brother got recruited by a professional team. We're so proud. That was the moment something cracked inside me. Not broke, cracked. Like a fault line forming, waiting for the earthquake. I stopped calling home. Stopped checking family group chats I wasn't in. Stopped trying to earn love that was never available. I poured everything into work instead. Working with James was baptism by fire. He was demanding, brilliant, and saw potential in me I didn't know existed. You're hungry, he said during my first week. Not for money, for validation. Channel that into excellence and you'll be unstoppable. He was right. Every hotel we designed, I imagined my family walking in, finally seeing my worth. Childish? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Our first boutique hotel opened 2 years later. The Heritage, in a city known for its jazz history and cultural significance. We hired local artists, featured regional cuisine, trained staff in genuine hospitality rather than scripted service. I designed every detail, from the lobby artwork celebrating Black excellence to the library stocked with books by authors of color. It wasn't just a hotel, it was a statement. Opening night, I wore a dress that cost more than my first car. James toasted me in front of investors, press, and industry giants. This woman, he said, will change hospitality forever. Reviews were extraordinary. We were booked solid for 18 months within a week. The Heritage became the blueprint. I sent my parents a newspaper article about the opening. They responded 3 days later. Looks nice. Ronald just got engaged. We're planning a huge wedding. No congratulations. No pride. No acknowledgement that their daughter was building something extraordinary. Lucille didn't even respond to my text. That night, Karen flew in to celebrate with me. They don't deserve you, she said as we toasted with champagne in the hotel's penthouse suite. You built this. You did this. Without them. Miss Patricia sent flowers. Massive, beautiful arrangements with a card that read, Always knew you were destined for greatness. Love, your real family. I kept that card in my office for years. 3 years. 3 years of explosive growth. We opened 12 heritage hotels across the country, each one celebrating local culture while maintaining impeccable luxury standards. I became James's business partner, negotiating deals, securing locations, designing experiences. My face appeared in industry magazines. Forbes ran a feature, 30 Under 30, the woman redefining luxury hospitality. My bank account grew from thousands to hundreds of thousands. I bought a penthouse apartment with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city skyline. I hired an assistant, wore designer clothes, spoke at conferences. People recognized me, respected me, wanted to work with me. I was 29 years old and living a life I'd once only dreamed about. But success didn't fill the hollow space where family should have been. I'd see other executives FaceTiming their parents after big wins, and the ache would return. I'd watch colleagues leave early for their kids' recitals, their siblings' birthdays, family dinners, and feel that old, familiar loneliness. Karen remained my anchor, calling weekly, visiting monthly, reminding me I was loved. But it wasn't the same as having your mother be proud of you. I still didn't call home. Neither did they. My birthday came and went. Silence. Thanksgiving, Christmas. Nothing. When I saw their social media, because I was weak and still looked, it was always the same. Ronald's wedding photos, Lucille's perfect children, family gatherings I wasn't invited to. Pictures of the 4 of them smiling, laughing together. Complete without me. You don't need them, I told my reflection constantly. But the heart wants what it wants, and mine still wanted a mother who called just to say hello. A father who asked about my day. Siblings who included me. I channeled that pain into building something they couldn't ignore. James called me into his office on a rainy Tuesday morning. "Sit down," he said, which was unusual. We typically worked standing at his conference table, energy high, ideas flowing. His serious tone made my stomach tighten. "I'm dying," he said simply. "Pancreatic cancer. 6 months, maybe less." The world tilted. James was more than a mentor. He'd become the father I never had. "I'm leaving you everything," he continued. 60% of the company. The rest goes to my daughter, but she has no interest in hospitality. She'll sell her shares to you within a year. I've already arranged financing. I couldn't speak. Couldn't breathe. "You've earned this," he said firmly. "This empire, it's yours. I'm just sorry I won't see where you take it." James died 4 months later. I held his hand in the hospital, this man who'd believed in me when my own family couldn't be bothered. His daughter, true to his word, sold me her shares within 3 months. At 31 years old, I became sole owner of a hotel empire worth $300 million. The weight of it was crushing and exhilarating simultaneously. But I didn't have time to grieve properly. A massive opportunity emerged. An international hotel conglomerate wanted to acquire our company. The negotiations were brutal, complex, and potentially life-changing. They were offering $700 million. I'd walk away with over $500 million after taxes, debts, and distributions. $500 million. From the girl who'd sold plasma for graduation fees. My lawyer, Margaret, was a fierce black woman in her 50s who pulled no punches. "Take the meeting in Paris," she said. "Negotiate hard. You hold the cards here, they want your brand, your vision, your magic. Don't settle." I'd never been to Paris. Never left the country. Now I was flying first class to negotiate a deal that would change my life forever. The Paris negotiations took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of high-stakes meetings, contract reviews, cultural events with potential business partners. I walked the same halls as industry legends, held my own against billionaires, and proved I belonged at every table. The final offer: $750 million with the condition that I stay on as CEO of the Heritage Brand Division for 5 years. They weren't just buying the hotels, they were buying me, my vision, my expertise. I signed on a Friday. By Monday the news had exploded. Hospitality Wunderkind sells empire for $750 million, read the Wall Street Journal headline. Forbes, Fortune, Business Insider. Everyone covered the story. My face was everywhere. At 31, I was one of the youngest black female entrepreneurs to ever achieve a 9-figure exit. CNN wanted interviews. The Today Show called. My phone wouldn't stop ringing. Except from my family. Radio silence. I waited, checking my phone obsessively. Surely they'd seen the news. Surely this time they'd reach out. On Tuesday, Lucille posted on Facebook about Ronald's promotion at work. So proud of my baby brother. Nothing about me. Wednesday came and went. Thursday. By Friday I'd stopped checking. Then Saturday afternoon my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me. Baby, it's Mama. Her voice was bright, excited, like we talked every day. Like she hadn't ignored my existence for 7 years. We saw the news. We always knew you'd be successful. We always believed in you. We're so proud. Something inside me snapped. Pling. Final. Like a bone breaking. I'm sorry, I said, my voice ice cold. New phone. Who's this? What? Baby, it's your mother. Don't be like that. We want to celebrate. We're family. Family. The word tasted like poison. I don't have a mother, I said. My mother would have been at my college graduation. I hung up and blocked the number. My phone exploded. My father called, blocked. Lucille called, blocked. Ronald called, blocked. They created new numbers. I blocked those too. They tried email. I set up filters. They showed up at my company's headquarters. Security escorted them out. For 7 years I'd been invisible to them. Now suddenly I was unforgettable. The desperation in their messages was almost funny. Almost. How can you do this to your mother? Lucille texted from a new number before I blocked it. After everything she's done for you? Everything she'd done? What exactly? Miss every school event? Forget every birthday? Choose Ronald and Lucille for every holiday, every celebration, every moment that mattered? The audacity was breathtaking. My mother left a voicemail that somehow got through. I know I wasn't perfect, but I did my best. You were always so independent, so strong. You didn't need us like they did. Please, baby. Let me explain. Let's talk. Family is forever. I saved that voicemail. Not for sentimentality, for evidence. Because I was done being the family scapegoat, the forgotten child who was supposed to be grateful for scraps of attention. Karen came over that night, wine in hand. You could, she asked, already knowing the answer. I'm furious, I admitted. They had 7 years. 7 years to call, to text, to give a single damn about my life. But now that there's money, now I'm suddenly worth their time. She nodded, pouring wine. So what are you going to do? I'd been thinking about that. Thinking about justice, about closure, about how to transform this pain into something meaningful. I'm writing a book, I said. About everything. The truth. My truth. And they're going to be the villains they always were. Karen raised her glass. I'll be your first reader. The decision settled over me like armor. They wanted acknowledgement. They get it. Just not the kind they wanted. Writing the book took 8 months. I hired a ghostwriter named Henrietta Sweeney, a woman who understood family trauma intimately. Together we crafted my story. The empty seats at graduation, the forgotten birthdays, the casual cruelty of being invisible to the people who were supposed to love you most. But we also wrote about resilience, about building your own family, about success being the best revenge. We titled it Empty Seats, Full Life. How I Built an Empire After My Family Chose Everyone But Me. The manuscript was raw, honest, devastating. I included screenshots of messages, social media posts showing family gatherings I wasn't invited to, the graduation text message. Everything. Henrietta pushed me to go deeper, to examine not just what they did but how it shaped me. This isn't about revenge, she said during one intense writing session. It's about liberation. My mother, in the book, became a case study in narcissistic parenting. The golden child, Ronald, the princess, Lucille, and the scapegoat, me. My father was the enabler, present but absent, complicit in every slight. I wrote about the therapy I'd needed, the trust issues I'd developed, the ways their neglect had nearly destroyed me. But I also wrote about Karen, Miss Patricia, James, Dr. Richardson, the family I'd chosen, the people who'd saved me. Finding a publisher was easy. Every major house wanted the book. The combination of my business success and the dramatic family story was commercial gold. We went with a publisher known for tough, unflinching memoirs. The advance was $2 million. I donated every penny to a scholarship fund for first-generation college students from troubled families. The money didn't matter. The message did. Publication date was set for 9 months out. Pre-orders were strong. Early reviews from advance copies were extraordinary. A searing, necessary examination of family dysfunction and personal triumph, wrote Publishers Weekly. Unforgettable, said Kirkus. The marketing team planned a massive launch, book tour, interviews, podcast appearances. My family's betrayal was about to become public knowledge. And I felt nothing but peace. The book launched on a Tuesday in October. By Thursday it was #1 on the New York Times bestseller list. By Sunday it had gone viral. Social media exploded with people sharing their own stories of family rejection, of being the scapegoat, of conditional love and golden child dynamics. #EmptySeatsFullLife trended for days. I became the spokesperson for forgotten children everywhere. My family found out when readers started recognizing them. Someone connected the dots. My last name, my mother's Facebook, Ronald's public profile. Reddit threads appeared. I found the family from Empty Seats, Full Life. Screenshots of their social media circulated. My mother's Facebook comments were brutal. You abandoned your daughter and now you want sympathy? The empty seats at graduation destroyed me. This is what narcissistic parents do. Lucille tried damage control, posting a long Instagram story. Family matters are private. Books don't tell the whole story. We love our sister, always have. The comments tore her apart. Then why wasn't she at family gatherings in your photos? Love is actions, not words. You're just mad she told the truth. She deleted her account within 24 hours. Ronald called from a new number. Somehow it got through. You've destroyed our family, he said when I answered by accident. Everyone's calling Mom a narcissist. Dad lost clients. Lucille's in-laws are asking questions. How could you do this? His voice cracked. For the first time ever I heard emotion from him directed at me. Except it wasn't love or understanding, it was blame. I wrote the truth, I said calmly. If the truth destroyed your family, maybe it was already broken. We're not broken. We're normal. Every family has problems. Normal families attend their daughter's college graduation, Ronald. Normal families don't erase a child for 7 years then call when money appears. He hung up. I blocked the number. That night on The Late Show I told my story to millions. The host asked, "Any regrets?" I smiled. Only that I didn't write it sooner. 6 months after publication the book had sold 3 million copies. It sparked a cultural conversation about family dysfunction, generational trauma, and the pressure to forgive toxic relatives simply because they're blood. I'd appeared on every major media platform, given a TED Talk about building chosen families, and started a foundation supporting young people escaping family trauma. My mother tried one last time to reach me. She sent a letter to my publisher. Somehow it reached me. 10 pages, handwritten, her familiar looping cursive. I almost threw it away. Instead, I read it with my therapist present. I never meant to hurt you, it began. I didn't realize how it looked, how it felt. Ronald and Lucille needed more attention. You were always so capable, so independent. I thought you understood. I thought you were fine. I'm your mother. I carried you. Doesn't that mean anything? I read it twice. Then I laughed. A bitter, hollow sound. She still doesn't get it, I told Dr. Easton. She's making it about her again. Her intentions, her perspective, her hurt. Dr. Easton nodded. What do you need from this? I thought about it. About the little girl waiting for parents who never came. About the teenager raising herself. About the woman who'd built an empire from nothing while they cheered for everyone else. I need to be done, I said. I wrote one final response. Not to her. I mailed it to her address, to all their addresses. A single sentence on expensive cardstock. The people who love you show up. You never did. We're done. I included a copy of my book, each one personalized. In my mother's copy, I highlighted every page that mentioned her. In my father's, the chapters about his silence. In Lucille's and Ronald's, the sections about their complicity. The title page inscriptions were identical. This is who you were. This is what you did. This is why I'm gone. I mailed them on a Friday. By Monday, I'd changed my phone number, moved to a new penthouse, hired additional security. I was 33 years old, worth over $400 million after investments, and I was finally, completely free. 5 years later, I stood in the ballroom of my latest hotel, the Phoenix, named for rising from ashes. We were celebrating our 50th property worldwide. The room was filled with people who mattered. Karen, now my company's chief culture officer, her children calling me Auntie. Miss Patricia, elderly but present, beaming with pride. Dr. Richardson, retired but radiant. Margaret, my lawyer and friend. Henrietta Sweeney, who'd helped me tell my truth. The team I'd built, the family I'd chosen. Speech, someone called. I stepped to the microphone, looking at these faces that had shown up consistently, lovingly for years. When I was 22, I graduated college alone. 2 empty seats where my parents should have been. I thought that meant I was unlovable. Forgettable. Less than. I paused, emotion rising. But those empty seats taught me the most important lesson of my life. Family isn't who you're born to. It's who shows up. The room erupted in applause. Karen was crying. Miss Patricia was nodding, eyes shining. I continued, I built this empire because I was running from pain. But somewhere along the way I stopped running and started living. Started choosing people who choose me back. Started understanding that my parents' inability to love me was their failure, not mine. Their loss, not mine. More applause, but I wasn't finished. Last week I received another letter from my mother. The 20th one since the book published. I didn't open it. I threw it away. Because I'm done giving energy to people who only want me when I'm useful. The applause was deafening now. So here's to empty seats. I raised my glass. May they always remind us that we're better off building our own tables. Later, alone in my office, I allowed myself one moment of grief. Not for what I'd lost. I'd never really had them to lose. Grief for the daughter who'd deserved better. For the little girl who'd wanted to be chosen. I cried quietly, completely, finally. Then I dried my eyes, straightened my shoulders, and walked back to my celebration. My real family was waiting. I never heard from my parents again. They aged, their lives continued without me just as mine did without them. Ronald's basketball career fizzled. Lucille divorced. My parents grew old, their golden children unable to give them what they'd hoped for. Sometimes people ask if I regret cutting them off. I don't. Regret would imply I'd lost something valuable. I didn't lose family. I found it. The real kind. The kind that shows up. If this story resonated with you, remember, you are not obligated to maintain relationships that harm you. Blood doesn't obligate you to accept crumbs of affection. Build your own table. Choose your own family. And never apologize for protecting your peace. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your own story in the comments. Your voice matters. Your experience matters. You matter.